everyone. In this video, I'm going to be providing an update regarding stimulus package negotiation and President Trump's most recent instructions to the Treasury Department regarding direct economic impact payments to the American people. Now, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for your continued support. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to the family of WhatJoe. Consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell as I'm posting valuable new content at least twice a week. Alright guys, so the Senate is now officially on vacation. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has adjourned the Senate and senators will return on September 8th. So what are you guys' thoughts about this? Please comment below. Now, I personally find this to be completely disrespectful to the American people. I do understand that they are going back to their local districts to campaign because we have an election at the end of the year. However, these senators are going back home to campaign. What are you going to tell your constituents? What have you guys actually accomplished? They just got back from a break, literally. They came to work for about 2 weeks and now you're off another month. Meanwhile, there are millions of Americans that are unable to pay their rent this month, millions of Americans that are unable to afford food and just support themselves. I have no words. It's disgraceful and our country deserves so much better. So again guys, the Senate is now officially on vacation and the Senate leader has stated that they will return on September 8th or possibly earlier if an agreement is reached with the Democrats. Now, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin is saying that the holdup is because of the Democrats and that they will have to make the next move regarding stimulus negotiations. Mnuchin said that when the Democrats have a new offer that they can call him or he will make arrangements to see them, but that the Democrats will have to compromise. Now, the Democrats initially wanted a $3.4 trillion package and they were willing to come down to $2.4 trillion. Keep in mind, guys, that the initial proposal by the Republicans was $1 trillion. So 2 to 2.4 trillion is a meeting in the middle. Much of the entire political gridlock comes down to money and how much stimulus is needed for our economy. The Republicans think that $1 trillion is enough, while Democrats do not think that that's enough and are saying there needs to be more money for unemployment benefits and more money for state and local cities. Now, Nancy Pelosi was asked when she would be willing to contact Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, and her response was she would be willing to resume negotiations once the Republicans agree to come up from $1 trillion to $2 trillion. Now, Republicans are saying that the Democrats would risk having no deal at all instead of agreeing to have the government spend $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion. In a recent statement from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, he accuses the Democrats of pretending to negotiate. Now, the irony of this statement is that he is the leader of the Senate and he himself has not attended one stimulus negotiation meeting so far. It has been the House Democratic leader, Nancy Pelosi, the Senate Minority Leader and Democrat Chuck Schumer, and representatives from the White House Larry Kudlow and Stephen Mnuchin. So, WhatJoe, Mitch McConnell is in charge of the Senate where he has the majority, and yet he is not even in the room during this negotiation. He basically delegated all of his responsibility to the White House. Now, the way I see it is that regardless of whatever past issues he may have had with Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer, McConnell has a bigger obligation to the American people during this crisis. He needs to set aside his personal feelings and participate in these negotiations. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, please go ahead and hit that like button. It tells YouTube you're interested and helps them share it with more people. Now guys, when I think about the way these two parties, the Democrats and Republicans, are handling the crisis right now, I just find it to be very childish and immature. And our politicians are entrusted to serve the American people and look out for the best interests of the American people. And quite honestly, that's not being done right now. Real people are suffering and hurting right now. We need more action and less talk. Now, President Trump on Friday blamed Democrats for holding up the next round of federal stimulus relief, suggesting that he's ready to sign off on crucial aid provisions while top Democrats have, quote, dug in their heels. So the most recent update regarding a stimulus package is that President Trump called for additional stimulus checks to be sent to Americans due to the stalled talks with Democrats over a new bill to address various issues related to the virus pandemic. Both Republicans and Democrats agreed that a second round of stimulus checks should be included in any legislation which is stalled after Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell delegated the Republican side of negotiations to the White House. Now it appears that Trump is trying to bypass these negotiations with unilateral action through his memorandum and executive orders on a possible looming eviction crisis, student loans, extra weekly unemployment benefits, payroll taxes, and now the stimulus checks. The president tweeted that he has directed Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin to, quote, get ready to send direct payments, $3,400 for a family of 4 to all Americans. So comment below, guys, what do you think about Trump's latest tweet? And do you think this is a good idea? So again, Joe et al., Trump tweeted this week to have the Treasury Secretary get prepared to send out stimulus check. He's also ready to direct the Small Business Association and Treasury Department to send more funding to small businesses, and that he is ready to send more aid to state and local government. The president's suggestion of a $3,400 stimulus check for a family of 4 implies that the economic impact payments will be similar to the first round that was included in the CARES Act, which was passed in March. This would involve eligible Americans receiving $1,200 each and an additional $500 per dependent. However, Trump's tweet expanded the proposed payment to all Americans. So in the first round, single adults with incomes up to $75,000 were eligible for the full check, while reduced checks were available for single adults making between $75,000 and $99,000. Now, approximately 160 million Americans received the first round of stimulus payments. Trump's proposal this time would roughly double that number. Now, this should be interesting, guys, because only Congress has the power to create a budget. They do hold the power of the purse. Now, the president does have the ability to reallocate funds that have already been approved in certain budget items. Now, Seth Hanlon, a tax policy expert at the Center for American Progress, said this action by President Trump, quote, would be blatantly unconstitutional if he did. Tax expert Hanlon stated that the president cannot draw money out of the Treasury that Congress has not yet appropriated. For instance, the money he's using for the unemployment insurance executive order is reprogrammed funds that Congress has already appropriated for disaster relief. That executive order directs the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to create a new program for unemployment using $44 billion in disaster relief funds. But he could not use that money for purposes such as stimulus checks, which in practice are considered tax rebates. So guys, September is going to be a very busy month, as not only will our government need to continue work on a stimulus package, we are approaching the end of the fiscal year, and they will need to work on our budget for next year. Hopefully, guys, this gets done without leading to another government shutdown. In terms of when we are likely to see the next stimulus bill, at this point, the earliest likely time frame, guys, is sometime in mid to late September. Now again, it is possible to see some progress before then, but it's unlikely to see both houses of the government agree on and pass the next bill while they're not in session. It's also very possible negotiations could continue to drag on towards October or later, which I hope does not happen. Alright guys, so what are your thoughts about President Trump's recent instructions to the Treasury Department to issue stimulus checks to the American people? Do you agree with this move by the president, or do you think he's overstepping his authority? Please leave your feedback in the comment section. If you found value in the video, please go ahead and hit that like button. It helps me out a ton. And share it on all your social media platforms. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so that you get updates. Thanks for watching, and until next time.